up, everyone? Sorry about that. Hello, I'm Adam. So today I'll be explaining about today I'll be talking about why Europe came unprepared for the second wave of this pandemic. My friend, everyone out there, hopefully you guys are staying safe. Yeah. Hopefully you guys stay safe. Hello. Oh, come on. Sorry, just had. Come on, phone, charge. Oh my god. Phone doesn't like to charge. Alright, so far. Let me explain how Europe came unprepared. Europe. Hashtag live. Hashtag second wave. Oh, come on. Alright. So I'll be explaining how Europe came unprepared for the second wave of infection. So despite the virus is still raging around the world right now, even though it kind of calmed down slightly around the world, but still, it's still a threat. And of course, we got the variants. How did they went from good to bad? Hospitals are come back, and all of this, the vaccines, and fine. Just won't shut up. Sorry about that. Sorry for the minutes, just because it's just gotta keep happening. Hopefully, it just won't complain. So I'm back doing live streams. Just took a few days cause Super Bowl, 2 or 3 days. Hello there, Nick Cooper. Hello there, Fanta. So today I'll be explaining how Europe came unprepared for the second wave. So do you guys remember the first wave after China's outbreak? But like in Europe, then Europe began to explode, like Italy, Spain, France, UK. They were all hit harder in the first wave. And then however, by summer, at least they relaxed down and they managed to reopen. And then they made a comeback and just exploded at a terrible rate. So yeah, so Europe is still trying, but there are some countries in Europe I think that may be battling the third wave. Yeah. So yeah, there are kind of differences in both waves. Some saying Europe's now seeing a third wave. So as you see, most of the infections right now are in the US, Latin America, South America, and Europe at this point. Despite they said that 17% of it declined the last week. Well, like as you see, like earlier, you see a third wave around the world. So you see they're and then begin to rise. even though they're right now declining. The US is still in the worst hit. The UK is the worst hit of all of Europe, possibly the highest per capita in the world. The US still has like has about almost 1.5 times that, but the UK would still win, kind of. So yeah, for the most part, I have a disturbing report. So I think how many countries? Russia is part of Europe, I guess so. Even though the UK number 3, 4, 5, France, 6, Spain, 7, Italy. So well, Turkey is not Europe, right? It's like in the Middle East or Eurasia. Not sure if it counts. Germany, Italy. But we'll say half of the top 10, 5 in the top 10 highest infection rates are in Europe. Because you have the UK, Russia, Italy, Spain, France. And then you have the nutters from the US, India, Brazil. Hard hit America, Turkey. Yeah. Oh, come on, phone. Sorry, I'm just trying to. Hello, 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 hello. Oh my god. Hello there. Out of control. Oh my. So today I'll be explaining. So yeah, so even though, so here's the thing. So we got hit by the first wave almost a year ago. Let me tell you why. And then Europe did actually. So let me tell you. So while Europe got hit the first wave like us in the U.S., but cases gotten low and low by June and July in the summer. They managed to keep their cases very low. So I'll show you a graph between the U.S. and cases by 7-day average. Let's see. The latest. So I can see. Come on, where's the graph for the U.S. and the EU? Uh, and then yes, you have the variants. So they managed to keep their infection rate low. I really want to explain it, but I'm find the chart if I can find it or graph. But I wanted like all of them. I guess this is fine. Guess that's the closest. So anyways, so as you see, so this is the US versus the European Union, or the EU for sure. This is how, oh my god, okay. So as you see, there's the first wave. Let me put it up much. So the US and the EU were all spiking, but the EU stabilized and began to flatten and just go down. By May, lockdown has been eased for the most part. By June, July, they reopened borders. Well, the U.S. plateaus, but then skyrockets in June, July, as you see, so known as the summer surge. Yeah, and then they begin to see a decrease in August, September, and September stabilized, but in October they. All right, so here's the thing. Well, I'm just looking at the U.S. It's just. All right, let me explain. So the EU, of course, they saw a spike, but then they managed to plateau and flattened and then just declined. By May, June, July, they were stable. And then, but starting in August, after the US hits its peak, cases begin to rise once again. But here's the thing, deaths were not rising at that time. It was actually going much slower. There's the EU deaths were actually not, but cases rise, but like not like spike, but like they were kind of slowly rising. By September, they reached their highest rate of infections and then broke records. By October, the EU just explodes. What went in October, November? You see some stable in December, seeing like some. So what went wrong? So here's the thing. So we want to point out a country, if I can. Come on. I want to point out to this country. Okay, you're back. Oh, okay, I am doing alright. Good evening, Minecraft. Good evening, Journey. So Italy, right? So Italy was the first Western country to do a nationwide lockdown, or the first hit country, and Italy got hit so hard during the first wave. If you don't know, 1 in 7 people who got the virus had died. 1 in 7. That is like a 15% fatality rate. 15% of all the cases were dead in Italy. That's probably one of the highest. Well, France was even higher at almost 20%, or 1 in 5, kind of. So yeah, France got hit. So yeah, Italy got hit so hard. But however, so here's the thing. So you see, I'm not sure I can put it. Hopefully it doesn't like. So as you see, Italy like explodes, and then you peak at over 6 a day, and then begins to decline in April. May begins to reopen June. They managed to see a stabilize between 100 to 300 cases a day. Cases were low, but then starting at mid-August, infections begin to rise. Managed to reach 1,000 cases. September, they kind of rose slightly. Not really too much. Not really like exploding. But then starting in October, this is where it begins to explode. It just boom. By November 13th, it hits its peak and the infections finally begin to go down. Then stabilize and then begin to rise after Christmas, New Year's, and then declines and stabilize once again. Still averaging over 10,000 cases. But they're still seeing about the same number of infections, if not more, than their March peak. Hello there. Hello. Yeah? What's happening? Alright, but however, that's true. But that's not just Italy. So Italy got hit so hard with deaths, right? They exploded and they were the hardest hit, like I said. Then they begin to go down as well, and you see some stabilization, I mean. And then they reached the lowest rate of death. Of that 158 deaths, they were just added to the death toll because they were like undercounting from like March and April. Yeah, but however, while cases rise, deaths aren't rising. In September, I know, right? But in October, this is where they begin to rise, and then by late October and early November, this is where they explode. Italy saw their highest rate too. November, they all thought that they won't break it until December 3rd they did, 1993, excluding that of March 27th, 919 or 17. I hate Roblox because they logged me out. That's why I love. I know, it kind of sucks. Well, Minecraft, well, maybe, but that's just if you're joining like a server. But Roblox is just no way. Yeah, I know, right? Oh, Minecraft. Oh well, yeah. So yeah, Italy. That's for Italy. France was the hardest, even though France never had the highest death rate, but they had the highest infection rate. So as you see, well, France had the worst fatality rate. If you don't know, number of people who got the virus and died. France had the worst. Like it's fatality. Well, you know the U.S. may have the most deaths, but the fatality rate is only 7% daily at that time. Or well, its peak. So you see in April or the end of March, 7,000 cases. You see that, even though that's so small, and then they just went down, and then yes, and then they managed to keep their infection rate. But then, like I said, in August, cases begin to rise, and then yes, and then they just exploded, and then they reached their peak by November 7th. And then cases finally begin to decline. Well, they had to do a nationwide lockdown. Italy actually kept their infection rate without doing a nationwide lockdown. They just shut down some regions, such as Milan, Rome, Naples, Florence, I think. That region. Never heard of it. Oh, no, me. No, me. They're asking me. Oh, the reason why I didn't went live, I just had a break. Yeah. So what went wrong? And then you're seeing a resurgence, but some stabilization. France is averaging between 4 to 25,000 cases a day. But do you know what's the worst country? I mean, not the worst country, but do you know what was the first country that gets hit by the second wave first? Spain. If there is data, because sometimes they don't show up. Oh, come on! No! Come on, they don't want to show data. Like, come on. I can't have. Oh, come on, they don't. Oh my god, I'm sorry, it's just it won't let me show the Spain data. So, yeah, so it's everywhere in Europe. Yeah, thanks. Thanks for coming. Hello there. So, yeah. So they said Europe was unprepared twice, right? True, right? They came unprepared twice because they all thought it was just Asia and they thought that they wouldn't make it, but it did. They thought nearby countries like such as Thailand, Japan, Taiwan, they said that they would have more deaths than Europe because they're so close. But that wasn't the case. The UK's the worst infection, and so as you see, the UK, I feel like this is like their third wave, or if not a resurgence of the second wave. As you see, cases were, and then you see they went down, but then made a resurgence in September or well August. Then by October, November, the peak. They also done a nationwide lockdown, but then the UK had the variant. The UK has the variant, and the infections went back up. Now the UK is in lockdown until March, I heard. Even though infections have slowed down, but they're still averaging over 10,000 cases a day. What went wrong? And then, see, deaths, they sadly broke a record because of that variant, even though they're like declining. But they're still seeing their highest rate. As you see, oh, good morning. You have an opinion change, yeah? Good morning, Jeremiah. Even though despite the UK isn't part of the EU, but yeah. Yeah, go ahead, Jeremiah. Yes? What do you... Wait, what? I haven't rant on Justin Leon. Yep. Even though that is.
Ignore me and don't time me out and move on. But no. And guess what's worse? He went to Bill Johnson's live streams like I am. Are you serious? Why are you the same live streams as me? Do you know who likes this user? Diamond. But I respect his opinion even though he hates me. Do you know who hates this user? Me.
Well, of course,
so
yeah.
screw Justin. And screw MTA. Note to anyone who likes MTA.
MTA.
Your opinion is respected.
I don't care about.
Adam the Fish and Gaming Master are many times.
Oh my god, he continues to praise me, even though Justin. Because he also goes to my stream. But I don't believe him. Because here's the thing. You continue with your behavior. You continue to impersonate users. Really, Dax? Like, even though I can respect his opinion, but like I'm talking about, well, not just bringing out drama, but like his behavior, kind of. Yeah, possibly, possibly. But anyway, and anyone, what went wrong? So, all right, here's the real reason. So the reason why Europe came unprepared. So, like I said, you have the first wave, and then by the second wave they did kept their infection rate. So here's the thing: Europe was the worst place. It was even worse than China by April and March, and then the U.S. kind of catches up there too, and then Brazil in May, but deaths and cases slow down in May. And then by May, some countries begin to ease lockdown. By late May and early June, we had some protests because of what happened in the United States at that time. The George. And then and then they were about to reopen borders, pubs, restaurants at that time. Well, the UK kind of took some time, to bring down their infection rates. Alright, so what's your opinion? You now hate Nico. Oh yeah, I need to explain this. I forgot to say this too. He closed his account for being called out. I need to explain this. I'm sorry but I have to agree. Nico, even though we're not bringing up drama, but I need to bring this up because I need to say this too. I have an opinion change too. If you don't know, it's just stupid. He backstabbed us. He went to impersonate. No, no, not impersonate. He doxed someone's age. I forgot. I forgot who. On Discord, according to Darwin, he sent me a link to a video. I forgot who. And and Nico said that doxing is for criticism. Wait, like, what is up with your mind? You're a hypocrite because remember that he called out Jay Kaiser for being a criminal pervert supporter and those other two people? He's a hypocrite because if you dox someone's age, you may be arrested. Even though sometimes he may live in a foreign country. Like, oh my god. And that is a criminal offense here in the United States. Crime in the US, especially in the UK and South Africa. I mean, not South. That's the variant. Look at the pin comment.
The following video.
Yeah? Thanks for saluting me. Oh, yes, he closed his account. I'm just gonna. Oh, yeah, this is Michael the Beyond Guy's video. I can handle. I'm not sure if Michael knows this, but I'm sorry to say this, but I'm gonna have to dislike the video because of his behavior. But I do want to check. But credit to Michael.
for 2020 is possible in part by Michael the Beyond Guy, Neko Mudrick. Wow, this user rocks. This user makes videos on Rapper offline. He makes rants, salutes, commentaries, opinion change videos, and more. He also made a salute video out of me. I hope this user does not get terminated. Do you know who likes this user? Jay Kaiser, Dylan Peru.
Even though Jay Kaiser no longer, even though Jay Kaiser's still around, even though I don't care about him.
Michael AUTTP, Mr. Inter, Lorix in this spot, Neko Mudrick rocks, and so does Ali.
I can handle his opinion, even though I'm not sure if Michael knows this. But, doxing someone's age is illegal here in the US, Canada, the UK. Like, come on, I knew something. He's a hypocrite, that's also criminal, but like in a different way. Yeah, and this is why the Beyond community never improves, because to anyone who calls out someone, they're possibly a criminal themselves too, so be careful, guys. I'm definitely, thank God, me or any Go animators that come to my stream that I know isn't one of them. Thankfully. Thankfully. Oh, come. Yep. It's Justin. I mean, no, Dax, sorry. This is why this is why I'm not going to go back to the Vion community. Or Fish. Or, well, I mean Vion, technically. Because of this behavior drama. Like, really? Neko, I lost full respect. But I'm going to ignore him. He's now a troll too, anyways. What's his name again? Oh, Neko. Yes, I lost full respect. Not trying to sound rude, but I think he kind of took trolls kind of a little bit too seriously, anyways. Like, really? Remember how I shared a video? And yes, he did close his account. Yep. But anyways, I'm sorry. I got into it. Sorry. Let me explain what happened in the second wave. So like I said, why in June, the U. So here's the thing. The EU is trying to reopen to the borders not only to the UK but around the world. But then you see cases rising in other countries at that time, such as Saudi Arabia, South Africa, Australia, or well, kind of. Well, no, not Australia. Brazil, and some other. Yeah, Iran still, or I'm not sure. So yeah, so that happened, and then by the end of by late June, the EU was thinking about reopen to visitors in the summer. Well, here in the United States, we begin to see after Memorial Day and the George Floyd protest, we may see cases of resurgence, a recomeback. If you don't know what's a resurgence or recomeback, the meaning is it's coming back. The second wave made it there. So we had a summer surge in the U.S. So yeah, infections explode. At that time, the U.S. was averaging between 25 to 40,000 cases, while the EU was averaging between 4 to 5,000 cases a day at that time. So yeah, so yes, the U.S. explodes, and then so the EU doesn't want to get a risk for another lockdown, another surge, another more lives lost. So the EU had no other choice but to ban travelers from the United States, along with Brazil, Iran, South Africa, and all. So yeah, so then and then everyone was most people in Europe were probably laughing at those countries. So then they begin to, but and then they begin to forget about the virus now. While the countries we still have to deal. And then, but however, more countries were seeing an increase in July, such as Japan, Australia. They had to put restrictions too. So if you want to get to the EU, even though that's like the summertime, things have changed. In June, in July, you have to your country. It depends on the infection rate or maybe the person's behavior. About if the infection rate matches or is even lower than the EU, then you're welcome. But if you're not, if you're higher than the EU, then you won't be allowed entry. But if you're an EU citizen, you might have to quarantine this. So yeah, countries like Spain, France, Italy, they begin to recover. What? Oh, hold on, my mom is calling. Sorry. Sorry about that. It may I don't remember. Don't you mean Dax? Like, cause I don't know. It's probably Dax at this point. Remember, oh, well, the Waterson one, not the one from the rabbit one. The one with the Waterson, it's Dax, actually. Yeah, of course. Cause he keeps doing this. Remember? All right, let me keep explaining what else happened. So yes, so then at that time, people begin to let their guards down by July, and then there was, but after the peak in the U.S., cases begin to rise in Spain. After reaching 1,000 to 3,000 cases for the first time, cases were begin to rise again in Spain. And people think, I know, right? And they said it could be a second wave. Well, and people said it's too early to see second wave because Spain just only 2 months after being locked down, they're now seeing a comeback of infections by the end of July. And then by next week, France was also seeing an increase. But however, deaths were not rising. And then a few other countries in Europe begin to see also a resurgence, such as the UK, region one, Norway, or well, maybe not Norway, Germany, Italy, even Italy was seeing a comeback of infections. Even though deaths were actually still low. Well, here in the U.S. we were declining, and then by September, cases begin to rise dramatically in France, Spain, averaging over 10,000 cases. Deaths begin to once again. Now Spain is taking the lead. Spain's outbreak is worse. So what happened? So this is what they tried. So people just let their guards down, and they just because while in June and July, people hospitals were relaxing. Sure, there are a few patients, but not as much as the first wave. So, but then people let their guards down, such as not wearing forget to social distance and just gather. Yeah, that's what happened. Probably. Yep, they just let their guards down. The government didn't have a plan yet. Not even the president, the commissioner, or the had a plan. But then, so they try to put a quarantine travelers from Spain at that time. But then there were more countries seeing an increase, such as France, and then they were also added, especially the UK. But then they themselves have seen increase too. And then by September, things got worse at the end of September. Wait, who's that? 6 months. Let me see. Holy, even though neutral there. But yeah, so you had that in September. And then, but cases in Italy were rising but slowly, while in the UK, France Spain were suffering almost 10 times. They're seeing their highest rate, but they're not breaking records in deaths, but cases, yes. And then by October, things got even worse. While here in the US, we're still trying to recover from the summer. And then deaths were rising in Spain, too in France, but they were rising faster. So remember how I made a video how the world reaches 100 million? Hold on. So yeah. It's about to show you about where cases rise. So yes, as you guys know, I know the hospitals were overwhelmed during the first wave. And so they tried to put some new strict measures, but however, EU countries don't want to do a second shutdown because they already damaged a lot of the economy. They just don't want to do this anymore. So they're trying to do something else. They even tried to put a curfew. And then by October, deaths were rising in Spain, but then Italy began to see a rise. And France now tried to make a comeback. Just, I don't, uh, I'm trying to sound rude, but the group has,
Your account will be terminated.
not trying to sound rude, but he took trolls way too extreme.
Hey,
And can't handle hate. This is why the community is toxic too. That's what? Yeah, it sucks. So yeah, but then there was a problem. So then Spain, Italy, they tried to put like a curfew. France also kind of did a curfew, while the UK had to shut down something. But then, and then there was violence, and then while the election was getting close in the US, cases began to rise in the United States once again. Cases began to rise once again in the US again at that time. And yes, this was a warning. But however, things didn't end well with the curfew. Some parts of Europe there has been riots, violent protests against curfews, and then they had to struggle with that. They had to deal with violent protests, such as what happened in Italy in October. Same thing Spain and France. And in France and Germany at the end of October announced a second nationwide lockdown. And then Israel as well was seeing a second wave in September and did its own was the highest per capita at that time. Well, even though Israel was going through a third wave. Eric, oh yeah. Eric Crowley, oh yes, Adam.
Shout out.
Even though I'm not sure what happened.
Shout out.
I don't think he's still in here at this point. I forgot about them. They probably just move on. Yeah, there's probably enough links anyway. Alright, so yeah, so then, like I said, Europe just came unprepared because they just let their guards down. There was no plan, and then they did get there, but then they began to see a rate come back. And how did they got to this point? They were not listening. That's what happened. And they were complaining about China a lot. And then there's some debate. And then by November, there was some flattening of infections, such as in hard-hit France. France tries to take over. While the UK also followed Germany to do a nationwide lockdown, even though it was like a week behind. A second nationwide lockdown for the second time. Yeah, and then by December, they tried to carefully reopen again France, while cases in the US were exploding. There were fewer shutdowns. Well, Spain, and so Spain did something else. Instead of doing it, I'm not sure if they've done a nationwide lock. They did lock down Madrid, well, the city itself, the state, province of Catalonia, where Barcelona is, not just the metropolitan suburbs area, and I think like some northern area. And then Portugal. Remember how I explained Portugal was exploding? Alright, and then you have the new variants. The new variants from the United Kingdom, the UK. And then you will have another variant in South Africa, and then the one from Brazil, and possibly, and there may be another one in Mexico, according to authorities. Yes, there was a, yes, you had those variants, and then it just spread. Even though the UK variant was found, um, in September, but it wasn't like identified. It wasn't like talked about until December. And they led to travel ban. They tried to put a travel ban as much as, yes, that's what they tried to do, but it didn't work. Uh, I know, right? But also, here's the second thing, even though it's maybe not related. Isn't that inappropriate? If YouTube is gonna demonetize war videos and like age restrict, but they're not doing inappropriate cartoons, and isn't that a cartoon? They're letting cartoons probably get away with it. Cartoon violence too. They're getting them away. While if you're doing it like a real rated R, of course they're going to add restrictions, but they're not. Please check it out, and they're just begging. I'm not sure if this person is monetized. If not, I know this movie. Yeah, I kind of don't like it. It's unoriginal, but it is on. Europe used to be like that, kind of, but it made a re-comeback. I would even rather watch Israeli movies at this point than this. But I would even rather. Sorry about that. Yeah.
I am born.
Oh yeah, Wavy, and I remember him. Hasn't even been talked about.
I am bored. I know nothing to.
That was like October 1st, 2020. Yeah, that was during the second wave. They never been. Yeah, but also make sure not bring out any fish just yet, 'cause I'm explaining. So yes, so yeah, the UK saw a resurgence, then Portugal, Spain begin to see a resurgence again. France kind of too. Hospitalizations rising again. So deaths were not really rising, but then they kind of did near record levels. Well, if you're a hard hit, near record is not as bad. If not, if you're a small country like the Czech Republic, not as bad, or like not as bad in the first wave, but check out the second wave. And that's what happened. The Czech Republic, the Netherlands, Belgium, like they all break records, not just infections, but deaths too. Yes, and in Portugal became the highest rate. While Germany is trying to help Portugal, despite Germany got hit hard. Germany. So here's the thing: the second wave is sadly more deadlier. Not only more infections. The second wave in Italy is 10 times. But with a lower fatality rate, not many people died, but still more deadlier. It is more than twice as deadlier, 2.5 times. So during the first wave, yeah. So yes. So yeah, they were doing force. So yeah, I forgot what I was talking about. I kind of forgot. I mean, Twilight. Alright, so yeah, not many people died, like I said, during the first wave. I mean, well, right, yeah.
Go animate haters. What? More like the people that don't approve of Go Animate and or
Like,
Beyond due
come
to its
on.
animation tool being a drag and drop adventure.
First of all, it proves that they can't handle hates. And 3, you're taking hates too seriously. And 1, you're not the boss. Has been active for 4 hours.
Have you? Go Animate hater.
He claims, but in reality it is.
What? More like the people that don't approve. Why? We all have our own opinions of how we picture Go
That's
Animate.
true.
We all have unique personalities ranging from young kids to autistic
Oh,
smart lads.
never mind.
If you have autism, that's fine. But the main problem I have with Go Animate is how some people don't take criticism very well. At least, that's how I picture it. Here's an example. All have our opinions, and you
That's
have the eyes
true.
and ears. Our soul and spirit.
So still, let me be on topic. Because I really hate being off topic. So yeah, you have the variants. Spring wave, and they be prepared for the fall wave. At least they avoided a summer wave, right? Well, yeah, of course. And now they made a recome back. By almost December, they were already averaging. They're seeing their highest rate in April 9th. So yeah, and then they try to put new restrictions, and Germany was the, and then yes, that's how we got here. The government had no plan, and then the behavior of people of what happened this summer, like sure you may have kept the infection rate lower in the summer, but then you must be warned about there may be a resurgence during the fall and Christmas. I mean, well, this winter, maybe. I heard the reports that there may be a third wave in spring in Europe, or well, some countries. Yeah, hold on, I'm doing a stream. Are you serious? You prove. Alright, let me explain this. Yeah. So yeah, Belgium had like the worst per capita, I think. The Czech Republic in like the end of October. Not even India, because India has like 1.3 billion people. So it's like the second largest behind China. And then yes, you have travel, people who traveled, and that's probably why it also. And then it was probably they acted probably a little bit too late. If all of Europe went into lockdown, possibly as early as October, then possibly. Europe it gets very cold, so infections could explode dramatically. Or we come back. Yeah, I know, right? Europe was emerging as the U.S. was fighting. I know, right? The summer one. It's true. We got hit so hard. Even though I'm not. Yeah, I know, right? We barely. And then yes, you have Portugal right now, the epicenter, I guess. I don't even know. Portugal COVID. Oh wow, infections may be slowing down in Portugal, but the death rate is still, well, they may be already begin to slow down, but still, Portugal is still suffering under lockdown. Portugal was successful, but then went from the, yes, because the Czech Republic, they all came unprepared, and all of them, they all have, I think, maybe possibly, may these countries have more deaths than Japan. Maybe not all European countries, maybe like Norway, Denmark, I think, Finland, but most of them have have more deaths than Japan, more infections. So Japan, only over 5,000 people have died since the pandemic started. In the UK, in recent weeks they recently passed 100,000 deaths. First European country to do so. No EU country or state has reached 1,000. I mean 100,000 just yet. And then you have anti-lockdown protests. and it's hard. Denmark, Sweden. This point, I forgot where's Den. I mean, I know it's in Europe. I forgot how Denmark looks. Okay, that made sense. That made sense. And then we just and then just let it happen. That's the reason behind all of this. I just hope we may see another pandemic. This is why we should be prepared. After this pandemic, we should build more hospitals just in case of one. People, even after this pandemic, people just maybe do not want to talk about it. They're going through this. I know, right? Despite you have the vaccine rollout, but here's the problem. They're pretty sore, despite the US and the UK recently passed 10%. Even some states, with the EU itself, EU states in itself is struggling with the vaccine supplies. Because you have the Pfizer BioNTech crisis, you have, and all of this. Even Canada even if they tried to put a travel ban on the countries that have the variants, they still got there. Recently, we heard that the U.S. is now my state has now the new South African variant, and we're near 200 of the UK variant, but no Brazilian variant so far. Like it's spreading quickly, and then you have the Super Bowl. Well, that's for here and for the U.S. That's why they were warning us. But you don't have but you don't do like strict measures. Some said it works, but some said it doesn't. There are some towns that even ban you that if you wear masks, reaction. They're doing it their exact opposite. They just want normalcy. Banning masks. Oh my. Sweden, because some said that they're accused that they managed to keep. And then you have the anti-vacciners, and some said that this virus is a hoax and all of that. Yeah, they're just trolls at this point. Stockman County. Oh, really? They have counties too in Sweden? Just like here in the United States, Stockman County is the worst. 100, 2,000. Even though that's nothing compared to, that's still less than LA County, which is 17,000, or Crook County in Illinois, it's like some 10,000, I think, or New York, or well, Queens alone 7,000, or 8,000 actually, 9,000. Well, that's for Queens in New York City. But yeah, of course, most of them are in England, tech, and the UK are in. Oh my god! Like, when will I just hope the vaccines. Like, we came unprepared. Clash. Yep, lesson it was never learned. Yeah, that's probably what happened in Italy. They they don't want graphic videos. They don't want war videos, but body swap is okay. And they claim that they're against nudity, but you're not doing enough, YouTube. Oh no. Oh, hello there. Just kidding. Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. I heard because of his behavior. He's a hypocrite. And then the politics, like, oh my god. Even though I'm not. This is from October 9th, and then hospitals begin to see patients again and then begin to overwhelmed. Then while here in the US, we continue to have political stop with election fraud, voter fraud. Like, enough. Lesson learned. Come on. Oh, this. They have to they have to go through this again. I know, just half of the summer, but then, the other half. No, not listening. Spain probably had the high, well. Come on. Come on. That's true. Madrid already. Prague, Czech Republic. Yeah, I know, right? And this got businesses frustrated. While here in the United States, we continue to have voter fraud. Claims from our former president, even though it's not. Still, I see, yeah, well. You think you try quarantine? It's probably a little bit too late. They're probably not going to work. How did it work? And then, I know, they probably. This is why. That's true, fans, like, already. See a recome back, even though it isn't as bad, but still, hospitals aren't overwhelmed. And then there are some restrictions, like days of indoor or outdoor dining. If the world shuts down, the whole world, maybe not shut down completely, but like a lockdown, kind of, for like a week or two, do you think it would slow down the spread if the whole world? Would you rather be safe or sorry at this point? If you want to be safe, even though I think it's most likely going to affect younger people, maybe just like testing, maybe testing is up, more available and all that. Or possibly hospitals are more, maybe, well, some hospitals may be more equipped, but still. Like, yeah, we're still getting. It's hard at this point. I know, right? I don't know. So, yes. Like, will this ever happen again? Oh, well, hopefully it doesn't. See. Hold on, let me search it. Yes, there was a rush for the holidays, even though despite some. Oh, come on! I don't want to clean just yet. Another spring wave. They said, look at this. They're saying new variants. Oh my. New variants could bring another spring wave. Possibly, maybe. I mean, it kind of already kind of spread, but then it could be more dominated by spring. Yeah, I know, right? But at least South Korea handled it better. South Korea handled it better for sure, even per capita. If you look at South Korea, they have a population of 50 million, but about over 1,000 people did die. Still, it is fewer than the U.S. than Europe by far. Even though South Korea will never reach 10,000 deaths. Most European countries have reached 10,000 deaths. This boy. So the first wave, about 30. Italy was hit the hardest, or well, the UK. 35,000 Italians were killed in the first wave. 42,000 Brits lost their lives or killed during the first wave. Spain 28,000, France 30,000, Norway only 400, 300, 500, something like that. I mean, not the Netherlands. Finland in the Netherlands, like some 7,000. Belgium, less than 10,000. Germany, also less than 10,000. Germany, at least, wasn't much better. You know, Germany got hit hard. They managed to even catch up to hard hits. Dr. Fauci recently told CNN that Americans should take the virus seriously, take it seriously. Yes, and we don't want to see a fourth wave despite you have the vaccines. So it's so hard. That's why vaccinations should hurry up. And hopefully, I think it's said the variants found. Hopefully it doesn't spread. Because we don't want to go back to March, right? Super bad spring. And it's. Yep. True, I'm live. So, yeah. There's fear for a second. Maybe. January. Yeah, I know, right? And both possibly another spring wave in both Europe and America. A third. This is why the EU needs to take it because most Europe has the worst. Even though it's not bad per capita, but it's not good either per capita. But in total, about I think almost 800,000 Europeans died to this virus, while here in the U.S. we're almost at 500,000. Even though the U.S. is like half of Europe's population, right? Europe couldn't even see a migration after the pandemic. But no. I'm not talking about people coming to Europe. Out of Europe, well, sure, they may come. But I'm talking about possibly More. Oh, come on. Of course. Enough with the cookies. Europe cut face. Yeah, that's what Europe may be in crisis. Where am I gonna go? If the people. I'm not sure. But some said that there may be another wave of immigrants, just like the ones in 2015. Just because I know the pandemic just destroys the economy, even though isn't your economy destroyed too? Kind of, but not as bad. But let the EU give time. Do you want to go back? I know, right? What they need. Yeah, Vince. Hopefully by 2022, we hope that we can see some normalcy. Spain's the adversary of France. France, the epicenter. I know, right? It's a lot to say. It's a lot to say. Feel free to ask me any more questions. Like, even if, all right, let me explain. Even if they tried, even if they're not gonna lesson learned. Not sure how many European. I'm not sure how the EU handled the swine flu. Oh wait, I forgot. Oh, come on. More. I guess I'm Poland for now. If you don't know, I forgot. If you don't know, more Europeans died of the coronavirus than the swine flu all over the world. Swine flu killed about between 150 to 500. Over like 585,000, I think. They already killed more Europeans than all over the world this time. Like, the last pandemic, it did infect more. Who said that it was on Discord? Oh, yeah. Oh, for Discord and Instagram. If you want to follow me on Instagram. Oh! It's the same username. It's about Discord, Instagram. Oh my god. So, yes. But the Spanish flu, remember that? Oh my, just probably can't imagine. Probably worst epidemic Europe may have faced. Or well, you also have the Black Death or Black Plague, the bubonic plague. Back in the 13th, 14th century. I don't know. Oh, come on. But it's still not good. What? Real? Oof, oof. Like, alright, go, 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 go. What's this app? Hurry, 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 hurry. Yeah, I think that's probably. Oh yeah, the return of Q&A. Oh yeah, that's true. He said that he never heard of it. Yeah, sometimes. Yeah. So hopefully, yeah. I don't. Even though it's not just Europe, the U.S. also came underprepared. While China continues to blame other and not control itself, but still, it's just got hit so hard. Hopefully we'll not see another spring wave. Hopefully not. I don't want to see another spring wave of infection. Do you? Especially per capita. I know Hungary. You have Bulgaria, Romania got hit so. Ukraine, like they all. Possibly. But I'm talking about another spring wave. Wait, what? Okay, I think this is from the Seattle Times. Let's avoid the Washington Post. Can a fourth wave be prevented? Not likely so, despite you have the vaccines. But here's the downside. You have the variants from the UK, South Africa, and Brazil. And then you have the... We need your support. I wish, but somebody support me. What I'd like to do. So I can support you. Like, this is what we're not getting enough. Alright, let me read this. So this is from Seattle Time. The outlook is over doc. Some say it's under. Probably wouldn't be a major. Well, I'm not of infections in the summer. But what about the variants? And then you have the one from that are some of them are less effective against the vaccines. You have Super Bowl recently, and then you have Easter in April, right? Yeah, I know, right? Unless if you take early measures, even though Joe Biden's in office. But if Trump was in office, not trying to sound, but it could be disaster. It's been over a year, and they knew it, and they're still, even though we only have a couple cases, but now we're nearing 30 million. Now we top 700 infections of the new variants, well, most of them are the UK. Now the South African variant, and then the Brazil one. possibly one from nearby Mexico too. Even though that's true, a lot of people may get enough shot. That's true. It sucks, and then yes, that's why we need to get vaccinated. Everyone, well, may not everyone, but like 80 to 90% needs to get vaccinated. And we have almost 8 billion people. 80% of 8 billion.
The answer is 6,400,000,000.
So over 6 billion people needs to be vaccinated, maybe, against the virus to go back to normal, hopefully. We're still neglecting the summer and spring surge at this point. I just hope. But by the way, just look how bad if they do have the statistics at this point. Even though we're declining, but still look at this. So yeah, the spring surge slightly declined and rose again, and then we have the winter, fall, or should I say the Thanksgiving / Christmas / New Year's surge. I just hope we'll not come back to that. It's been over a year. It's been almost a year since we got there. And we're still averaging more than the summer and spring surge. At this point, we're still seeing than July at this point. We're still solid infection. Despite most of the U.S. now, the cases finally start declining compared to spring and summer where they exploded again. Hopefully it continues like this. Well, feel free to ask me any more questions about. I mean, at least Canada was kind of some comparison, to be honest, but the U.S. ranks in the EU kind of ranks low. Canada at least avoided surge, at least they kind in the summer. At least Canada at least got some justice at this point. Despite Canada recently passed 20,000 deaths, Quebec is the epicenter, well, for deaths. Ontario is the most infection. But they're still doing better than the US. That's nothing. That is still less than New York and California, which has 45,000 deaths. It's 5 times, 1.5 times. Even though I think we might have more people with April. So. What's the population of Quebec?
As of 2020, the population of Quebec City was
No,
549.
I want Quebec province. What is the population of Quebec province?
In 2020, the population of Quebec was 8,000,005.
Which is still less than New York. What's my opinion on that? No opinion. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, Charlie liked him. Oh, yeah, I remember. Sure. Oh, I thought it was someone else. I thought it was like Jerry. Like, I think it was. I was about to say no opinion. So, yeah. I just hope.
Thanks to a beer, sponsoring, thanks to
Well, this way. Yeah, I just want to say, hopefully you guys stay safe. Do you guys have any questions? Let us. I know, right? Anyways, guys, I'm on the stream. By the way, I'll be eating and I'll be watching some I-24 ILTV, so I'll be busy for now. But anyway.